to Wives Getting Lives, a podcast where we talk about life beyond being a wife.
My name's Allie, and this is my co-host Donna. Thank you to those returning visitors who are tuning in on Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube. We really appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. We have had so many technical difficulties to overcome, but we have been facing them head on. We think we've mostly corrected our lighting issue. We are currently sweating to death from the amount of beam we have coming from this direction, but you should be able to see us well.
Definitely
And
thirsty in here.
we also placed a big order to improve our audio, so we are hoping by episode 6, fingers crossed, that our audio issue is corrected. So we really appreciate you all hanging in there with us and sticking it out. So would you like to tell everybody who our guest will be today?
Yes, our guest is going to be Lauren. If I say this wrong, I'm so sorry, Lauren. Lauren Adib from Miss Adib's Craft Corners, and she's teaching us resin art, correct?
Yeah, she's going to work with epoxy resin, and I think she's going to show us how to do a keychain. I'm really looking forward to seeing what she has in store for us.
Yes, we get to learn a new hobby today. Do you think this is one you'll like to do?
I do think it will be something I'm interested in. I've always been curious, especially about tumblers. I never really knew keychains could be made with epoxy resin until recently. And I think that's really an interesting medium. You could do a lot with it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Me too.
Stick around because when we come back, we will have our guest Lauren Adib, and she will be going over our craft with us and telling us a bit more about herself. Welcome back. We're here with our guest, Lauren Adib, and she's going to tell us a bit about herself, and we're going to see her do a craft as well. I believe she's going to make a keychain from some resin. Lauren, how did you end up getting into making resin? Resin artworks and cups and tumblers. You do so much. I've enjoyed looking at your channel and seeing all the cool crafts you create.
Well, thank you. I have been just into art my whole life. I started with just drawing on paper, building up into art class. I've dabbled in a few other things, but it was about, I want to say, a little over 2 years now that I discovered epoxy through a couple of craft groups, and I was like, I'm gonna try that. And I have been hooked ever since. I can make all sorts of things and just get out all this creative energy that I have with epoxy.
That is so amazing. What is your favorite thing to make out of epoxy?
I love mostly doing tumblers. I have this one here for an example. They're basically,
Oh, I love that.
to me, tumblers are like physical coloring books. I can just throw any sort of color, any sort of glitter, anything that I want. I love tumblers, but I also love doing keychains. They're small and portable. I did this one. I have a thing for aliens,
So cute.
so I have like tons
Look,
of aliens.
aliens are hot right now, okay? Everyone's talking about all the aliens right now. So
I have this one too.
Oh, it's
So
a pretty
yes,
butterfly.
that is so beautiful.
I love it. I might be even more addicted to buying the craft supplies for it. I have glitter, I have inks, I have all the different like little molds to make epoxy in. I have so much.
A lot goes into hobbies, and that's something that we realized ourselves getting into this because it's not the same as epoxy, clearly, but a whole lot goes into it. especially behind the scenes with the lighting and sound and editing. And also, I hope you can hear us well because we're still in the works on our audio, but thankfully it's in the mail.
Oh yeah, I hear y'all great.
It has been so long, Lauren, since we were able to actually catch up, but
Oh
I guess
no.
I went on this endeavor and like it really opened up a lot for me because I was able to see all of my friends' abilities and their skills and the hobbies that they're into. And man, you're doing good. You're doing your thing. Like you've got your business going, Adib, Miss Adib's
Miss
Craft
Adib's
Corner.
Craft Corner. Yes, I
Adib.
do.
Okay, I had it right the first time. Now I'm overthinking it because your name is such a hard one.
It is. So my last name, I'm just gonna give y'all the story because everybody asks. My husband's family is from Iran, and so they have that old Persian name, and it used to have a hyphen in it. So it used to be Adib hyphen Yazdi, and that indicated kind of like an example, like a clan, I guess. Like it would be your last name and then the area that you were living in.
Honestly, I feel like the hyphen made it easier to pronunciate those. Something about
Yeah,
breaking them into two pieces helped.
yes.
How long have you been married for?
I have been married for 5 years. And this coming February will be 6 years. And we have been together for 11 whole years total.
Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations on that. That is, what's the secret? How do you keep each other happy? Does crafting help keep you happy?
Room. This craft room definitely. He has his gamer room, and I have my craft room. And when we need to, we go our separate ways and do our own thing. But then we have family time together too, so it works out.
Yeah, finding a good balance.
Yeah, because you need that break, a little bit of that break.
Absolutely.
Just your own thing to do.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you'll strangle each other.
Yeah, you can't be around any one person too much before it gets to be excessive. Yeah,
Right.
violent. That's a good word. You really have some great works. Like you have some unique pieces that I haven't seen from other artists who are in the same field, you know, making epoxy resin works. You have a very unique, fresh take on it. And I appreciate that. That's very what's a good word for that? Well, it's very something, but
Yes.
I really like it. You know, you unique. Yeah, unique.
Thank you.
That's a
I
good word
like
for it.
being unique. I'm actually I'm also a brand ambassador for my glitter company. All of my glitter comes from her. I'm wearing that right now, Dare to Sparkle. Um, and she tells me the same thing. She's like, I just love your take on things. It just sometimes they come to me in these weird dreams, and I'm like, I've got to put that on something.
That's the best kind of ideas, though. Weird dreams.
Yes.
I know, right?
I wrote a whole zombie fangirl book whenever I was 12 over a
I
weird
wrote a
dream.
little movie in my dream. It was fun. Great.
I love it.
Where can people find your items? Where can they go to purchase them?
So I have a temporary pause right now on my Etsy shop because I am switching on over from Etsy to a different platform. But once that's up and running, I'm hoping that it can be my own site is what I really want to do. But right now people can find me on Facebook at Miss Adib's Craft Corner, and you can also find me on TikTok, also Miss Adib's Craft Corner. Craft Kitsune right here is a subscription box, and they have their kits are a monthly subscription. They have little tiny molds like this. These are to make little beads for bracelets and necklaces. And then included with the mold of the month, it will come with glitter or little clay pieces or just anything that goes with the theme for the month in those. So that's
That
good
is such
too.
an awesome subscription.
Yes,
I knew that they have like
epoxy as well. It
paper
comes with a little
subscriptions,
bottle of
but yeah.
epoxy.
So
So,
awesome that there are subscriptions for everything now.
yes,
Yes.
and it's amazing if you're just starting out to look
I
into
bet it's a good way to build a stash. I built a big makeup collection by using Etsy. Ugh, Etsy, Jesus, Ipsy and BoxyCharm really helped me to up my game and get a lot of variety too. So, and it was budget friendly. How much is the Kitsune
the
subscription?
Kitsune is $34.99, I believe, a month, and that's a little more with tax and stuff like that. But yeah, it comes with mold. It comes with the epoxy, little bottles of sample epoxy, little inclusions that you could put in there, depending on what the theme is. I'm excited for one coming up in the fall. It's going to be little woodland creatures. It's going to be like little foxes and owls.
Sounds so adorable. And I love that it's themed and it probably varies from season to season. And you can
Yes.
refresh your stash with some new items every month. Like, that is so great. So, what are you going to teach us today, Lauren?
So I am going to teach you from start to finish how to make a keychain. I have my little alien all empty and ready to go.
I love that.
I have a couple of little molds because I tend to mix more than what the mold should be. That's another great thing about epoxy is if you have leftovers and a ton of molds, you can just pour them. Just keep on
Use it for
pouring.
a different project.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also have this little,
So,
just in case, this little balloon doggy.
do you have any plans on what colors you're going to use?
I have a brand new glitter out that I just got actually in the mail today from my glitter dealer. It's this holographic.
Ooh.
I love it.
What is
and
the base color? It was so reflective. It was hard to see what the base color of it was.
so this is kind of like a silver, and it color shifts.
Oh,
Now,
it shifts. We see all that.
yes, the best thing about color shift glitter is it varies from whatever color epoxy you want to do. So if I put it with black epoxy or with white epoxy, it's going to look different. So I am also going to use inks. Alcohol inks are one of my favorite things to play with in epoxy.
I think I've seen a little bit of alcohol ink, and there's a lot of variation between that too. If I'm thinking of the same thing, like you could manipulate the colors and mix them and blend them and stuff.
Yes, this one right here, it's called the Petri dish method, and I absolutely love this method. It's my favorite. I use it in almost anything. So the main thing for this is a white. I like the Pinata brand the best in the white, but it pulls the colors down and makes it kind of like these threads right here. I love doing that. That's my favorite.
It adds a lot of dimension.
It is very random. So I am going to go ahead and put on my gloves. I'm going to talk a little bit about safety with epoxy. So epoxy is a chemical. It's like doing a science experiment. So you definitely don't want to get anything on your skin. You want a pretty well ventilated room, which thankfully I have in here. But you can wear a PPE mask if you don't have a ventilated room, and that'll help ventilate the toxins and all that. Now there is another I want to say it's called Hyperion. But that is a non-toxic. It takes a little longer and it's thinner to use, but for those that have like skin sensitivities or breathing sensitivities, I would recommend going for the like the non-chemical type epoxies.
What is the first step to take when you want to make your keychain? After you pick out your mold, and we chose the alien, right? I think that's
We
the main
did.
one, but you do have a couple additional ones that we're going to use for any overpour that happens.
Yes.
So you don't waste any of your product.
Right.
So we got all our supplies gathered. What's the first step?
So let's see, I have my mold. You definitely want a mixing cup because epoxy is two parts. It's an A and a B, and one of them is a hardener. Is going to be what makes them hard in the end. Very sciencey.
It sounds like it.
I have my inks over here. I have my little stirring tool to mix epoxy with. So let's see, I think I'm good to go. I definitely recommend having a silicone work area. Epoxy will stick to everything. I have epoxy on my floor. I have epoxy under this mat on this table. It will stick to everything but silicone. So when you have all your supplies ready, you want to first go in. Most epoxies are going to be labeled with an A or a B. I like going in with the B first because this is a little thinner. Some of them depends. Some of them thicker, some of them thinner. But I like going in with the B first. Now with epoxy, you want to measure by volume. And I don't know if you can see very well, but this cup has little milliliters on the side right here. So you want to be pretty as accurate as possible. For these little molds, I like doing let me see, I like doing 30 for each. So we're gonna make 60 total. So I am gonna go in, let me find my 30 mark. I'm gonna go in with my first one.
And you start with B, correct?
I start with B. I think it's a preference. As long as you mix both of them together, but I prefer starting with B.
And again, what brand do you use for your epoxy?
So for my casting epoxy, I like using this Resin Rockers. They a lot of epoxy will whenever you're stirring can get like air bubbles in there, and their formula for Resin Rockers is kind of like a natural bubble release, so they pop on their own whenever you kind of like let it sit still.
So that's
Um,
not something you have to go back and manually pop or worry about shaking a little or using a
right.
heat gun to get out.
It is
That's great
very,
to be able to skip that extra step. So that sounds like a good recommendation for a brand.
I enjoy resin rockers. I also have a few molds from them. And they have been around a while. So a lot of like tips and tricks is good with them too. So I went in with my A and I have 60 milliliters total. So you want to kind of follow the directions. Each epoxy varies. The Resin Rockers brand is stirring for like 3 minutes. I kind of usually stir for 5 minutes. Depends. The trick to getting a good stir with epoxy is you see right now it's kind of stringy in there. You
Yeah.
want to kind of stir until it's as clear as possible. So this is whenever I'll put on a little show or put on some music. I'll watch my little time over there, do a little kind of 5 minutes stir. You kind of want to like scrape the edges. I've used this couple a little bit, so it's kind of a little dirty, but you kind of like want to scrape the edges and stir and kind of do some little flips. So I am done stirring, and see there's no more strings. It's all clear. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to mix this fancy glitter up in this epoxy cup.
Just in time for the best part.
So the thing to kind of remember about glitter, especially kind of like this chunky glitter right here.
It's the herpes of the craft world, and it will go everywhere.
Yes.
And it doesn't go away.
End up on your dog. It's going to end up on your child. It's going to end up on your husband, which we'll hear about later. His coworkers laugh at him because he goes to work with glitter all over him.
Poor fella.
But it will also, especially with like chunky glitter like this, it is going to sink to the bottom. So you kind of want to think of your mold as like the very bottom is going to be your face of your mold, because
It'll be the top.
when you pull it, it is going to be backwards like this. And so you pull it, and that is what gives you the shine, is the face part.
Yeah, it all settles to the bottom, which in reality is the top.
Yes, it's going to end up being like these floated to the face, which for a lot, and there I go spilling glitter. But yeah, for a lot like chunky holographic glitters and stuff, it is so much fun to see where they end up.
Yeah, they probably kind of do their own thing. Is there any ability to be able to position the glitter at all, or does it kind of just free flow?
It definitely free flows. You can try kind of when you're up, maybe like within a couple of hours, your epoxy will be a little thicker. And you can probably try to like move it around, but even then it'll probably end up doing its own thing. As a lot of people will put their inks in the cup. I like being a little different and having kind of like this clear in some of my pieces, this kind of like clear sections.
And that'll also give you more ability to choose where the color's going.
Yes, kind of.
Well, yeah, kind of, because I'm sure the resin comes along and flows through and kind of moves it a little. But
Yes.
I feel like for the most part, you are choosing more than if you just throw it in a cup and
Yes,
toss it around a
absolutely.
little.
Like I can definitely, I'm gonna go in. I think I want to use more of the darker side of the to go with this kind of silvery holographic glitter. So I'm gonna go in with a blue, and I'm just gonna dab in different little places. So I wasn't a huge like science book person, but I definitely was down for these science experiments.
Oh, like
Oh, yeah.
Bill Nye the Science Guy? That's everyone's favorite.
Yes.
I
Oh,
was
see,
all about the science experiments as well. I really enjoyed things like that. Like, I think making a volcano at school was probably one of the peaks of my like.
That was a lot of fun. But to be fair, I think it was more the oozing and the mess that we made that I enjoyed.
I don't know. I kind of like building it and shaping
Yeah.
it and decorating it with the little trees and the dinosaurs.
yes.
I do. Yeah, it's like Minecraft but real life.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go in with this. I haven't used a whole lot. I just got these metallic alcohol inks. So I want to put some of them in there too. This is like a rose gold color.
Ooh, I love that.
I'm gonna try it out. And look, for epoxy, you are definitely, there's some things that you are gonna that are just not gonna come out well, and you might have to scrap it. But going in with that mindset that like, hey, this might not come out that well, usually is better in the end. Just knowing, just like going
Yeah, I
into
mean,
that.
it might turn out great. There's a chance of greatness, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth doing.
When sparkles are involved, greatness is probably likely.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna go
They
in
do
with
something.
this white color. And I like putting my whites kind of close to where the colored dots are. So it's gonna mix and it's gonna pull those colors. All right.
So what all colors do we have in there currently?
I am using this radioactive color. I have this bright neon pink, and I have this this blue, and then the rose gold metallic, and then I went in with my white that is gonna make every color pop, and then I have my holographic glitter ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just pour. So you want to just kind of go spread it around and watch those colors do its magic.
And I love the new glitter.
It looks so pretty so far.
Yeah, the color combination's really awesome.
It's already spreading and it's already pulling right here. And it'll keep spreading and pulling until it is dry. I really
So
like this.
as it goes by, you really won't have a full idea of what it's going to look like until tomorrow.
You will not know until you take it out of the mold. It's like a
That
surprise.
is fun. I think that's part of the joy. I love a good unboxing. So
Yes.
that'd be like ultimate unboxing, you made it yourself.
Right.
See, and that makes for some great social media content also. It's like, hey, I poured this today, so let's see what it's gonna be tomorrow. Oh my, I am really loving the effects this metallic is giving. I can pick this guy up a little easier, so I'll show y'all.
What color is it pulling? The metallics.
This metallic is like a rose gold. I have a silver and I have a regular gold also. I have gloves on, so but look, check him out. And that, I mean, that's the best thing about this craft is like you never know until you just do it, and then it's unpredictable. And then even right now, like if you just look very closely, you could just see the colors moving and swirling around, and it's gonna keep doing that until it's completely dry, and then you just don't really know. You have an
It'll
idea.
look totally different next time we see it.
Yeah.
You definitely have an idea of what it's gonna look like, but you just don't know until. Yep. So that's it. You just gotta wait now. So free to go
All
cook,
about the way.
free to go do whatever. Do another
That
craft.
was an awesome craft, yeah. And it was pretty quick too, all things considered. It wasn't a long process. Yeah, that
No,
was
it's
great. The long part is the wait.
the
Yeah,
wait.
and
Yep.
we wait for so much stuff anyway.
Yeah, you wait for all kinds of things. I wait a week or two at a time for, new episodes of things to come out. So
Right.
It builds suspense. It's just, ooh, what's it gonna be?
Anticipation.
yeah,
We
and
don't get
even
much.
you're seeing the bottom of it, so you really don't even know exactly what the top's gonna look like.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, let me see. I want to say like this one right here. I poured these yesterday, I think. So that is the back of it. So that is what you see.
Oh, I love that.
Before,
That is an awesome spaceship.
UFO.
and then
It
you
almost
pull it.
has an opalescent hue with the shift it has to it.
Mm-hmm. And that's the back part. The front, completely different. You have the inside
Wow.
like sink to the bottom, in a way, just completely different. But yeah, this part is
Yeah,
what
I
you
thought
see.
the back looked cool. The front looks way cooler.
Yeah, it turned out really good.
It has
The
a lot of
same,
orange and red tones, purples,
same thing with these
greens.
little critters, like some of the 3D ones like this one, you definitely don't know what it's going to look like because it like has a further way to go to pull.
That
So
looks like an American spider right there.
this is what the bottom
Oh,
of
it's more pink actually than red.
uh-huh. And then that whenever you pull it, that is what you do.
Right. Oh, that looks.
It's almost like
really
pink,
interesting.
white, and blue. Yeah, and
Yeah, the way
oh yeah, and it's all yeah. There's so many variations across it.
Right.
Each section of it looks totally different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very interesting. It's really pretty to look at.
It is. It's really nice to look at.
The deeper the mold, the more like kind of like veiny, stringy it's gonna be because it's gonna pull all the way down. This one, because I wasn't expecting it to be so huge, I had to do what you can see. I had to do it in different layers, so I had to come back each day.
And add a little more.
But I like
a
it.
few days. It turned out really good.
I would have never known there was layers until you pointed it out,
Right.
and then I felt like I saw what you
Uh-huh.
meant, but barely.
And it
Pretty cool,
definitely
though.
the ones kind of like the bigger ones you want to do in layers. You want to go back different days and do and you can see the layers more because I like that clear effect. So I don't put a lot of like coloring or pigment. But if you want to like cover up the layers, if you just did like a solid pink color or something like that, you really wouldn't you couldn't tell that it was layered.
Why would you not be able to fill it all at once? Well, is it the air bubbles or the dry time?
It would definitely be the a little bit of both, the bubbles and the dry time. They do make specific resin for, it's called deep pour molds. So the ones that you kind of have to like the just giant ones. You'd probably be best with a deep pour mold, and those take like 2 or so days to dry if you don't do it in layers. It can kind of be a little difficult to work with regular resin. If you do a whole thing with regular resin, it's a little difficult to work with.
I think my only question I have remaining, how do you make the hole in it to make the keychain link?
So a lot of your keychain molds will actually come with a little let me pull this butterfly. This one right here, it comes with
I see the little dot. It has the cutout, so it never forms. It has the hole already.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So it has the hole already. For those that do not have a hole, like this little balloon doggy right here, if I wanted to make him like a keychain or something, there is a way that you can they have these like little Dremel tools. It's kind of like little bitty screwdrivers in a way, and it makes little bitty holes in there, and you can put these little eyelets in there, and those have the holes that you can string onto your keychains.
Okay.
But for the most part, your
again.
keychain molds are going to come with the holes already there for you.
Thank you so much, Lauren. It was great. And I really enjoyed catching up with you and being able to learn more about your business, Miss Adib's Craft Corner, and you teaching us this craft. I really look forward to seeing what it looks like unmolded and completely dried. I really look forward to seeing the color variations.
And I look forward to trying
And the glitter, seeing what the glitter looks like completely settled, it will.
Yes.
I guess I'm going to let you go so I can stop sweating. I hope you have a good evening, though, Lauren. Thank you again.
Thank you. Y'all have a great night.
Bye, Lauren.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's see the magic. Let's see what they did. Ooh. Look at that rose gold in there. See, I just love how unpredictable they can be. You just never know what you're gonna get. This one right here is all swirly. And then him, I'm really excited to see how he did. And you see, if you get little overages, you can just, in the early stages, you can kind of peel that off and shape it up a little bit. But check him out. He's my favorite. I like him. I'll probably paint his eyes. Look how cool that rose gold turned out. Oh my gosh. This was so much fun. Thank you guys again for having me on.
And we're back. And heavens, is it hot in here. It has been sweltering in Louisiana. So if you see me sweating and patting my face and maybe my boobies, y'all mind y'all's business, okay? Y'all just overlook me because it is so hot here. I just can't help myself.
Yes, and it can't run any fans or it's too
Yeah,
loud
it
on
affects the audio, so yeah, if you see us sweating, that's why. But
It's just like being in a sauna. It's good
it
for
was
you.
also so fun and exhilarating to see Lauren's craft.
It was.
She has some awesome work that she does.
I love all her little
It's so
aliens.
unique and interesting. I definitely love the alien
Aliens are
aesthetic.
great.
All the weird vibes.
It's
I
so
love it
cute.
the most.
Very bright,
Um,
sparkly.
I
your
really
favorite things.
also love how it turned out. It turned out
It
so
turned out so
beautiful.
good.
I love all of the color variations, and the
Yes.
glitter was immaculate,
It
just
was
like I thought it
very
would
pretty.
be.
That metallic glitter.
Yeah,
very
it was
good
stunning.
looking. It was.
We are so thankful that Lauren was able to meet with us, and
Thank
we
you
look
so
forward
much.
to our next guest, who is going to be Miss Paige. She has some beautiful crochet crafts that she's going to show us. So you
That's
guys
gonna
be
be so
sure
much
to
fun.
tune in for the next episode. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and if you can, drop a comment below and let us know if it's something you'd be interested in to see us work with resin art in the future, possibly getting the Kitsune resin subscription to
Yeah.
try it out on a small scale that's budget friendly. So comment below, let us know your thoughts on that, and be sure to catch us next week. See you guys.
Bye.